Hello and welcome to the Dive Bar, where I dive into the games of the week. Yep, I'm doing it solo because my hosts were both busy and I am also busy too, so I did not have time to line up any guests, and I'll just be going in solo. And so also this is probably going to be a rushed episode because I am, like, as I said, I'm busy. I kind of barely had time to record this, and then I recorded it, and this is the second time I've done a recording with no audio. So luckily the first time I noticed like 5 minutes in. This time I didn't notice till I started editing that there was no audio. At least I noticed that there was no audio at some point. But anyways, recording on Thursday, October 24th, before 1IQ versus BW. I think that's what it was. I still haven't updated the thing that I was supposed to update. Before 1IQ versus BW, which is happening in like 2 hours from now. So that's happening soon. That's the match that's happening today. I won't be able to talk about it, obviously, of course. But let's just hop straight into these matches because I gotta go through everything again. Week 4, KGB versus 2. This match finally played. I'm not gonna be talking too much about this one. 2 won it in 2 matches. It's just nice that this match has been played so that finally those scores are there. Awesome Nader and Slammer Jack both doing well this series. Slammer Jack's still doing well even when he doesn't get the Morgana pick. So Slammer Jack definitely showing that they were able to be quite effective in this series. But yeah, I mean, when I originally recorded this, I didn't talk too much about this series. It's an old game, so I didn't want to focus on it too much, and I won't because there's 6 matches to go through this week anyways. So it's nice to be able to kind of skip through one. So we're gonna skip through it. Week 7, RAWR versus CR. CR winning in 2 matches. CR, I believe, no, not one of the bottom teams, but that's kind of BW and LS are sort of the bottom teams. Not that they're actually bad, but just kind of a good note for the upcoming 3 of the series. So, anyways, back to this series. Bress and Eric both doing really good. RAWR's sort of, I think this is the second week with this new RAW roster. Second or third? Second week, I'm pretty sure. And it was looking alright. Obviously not looking good enough, but I do gotta say, Cool J in this game too was looking really clean on the Ezreal. I do just want to say that Cool J was looking really good, but unfortunately, Caress looking pretty good. Eric, as always, looking pretty good. Actually had the same KDA in games 1 and 2. 16-4 and 9, 16-4 and 9. But besides that, you know, just looking good. Eric, Caress, both looking good. RAWR in general, just looking a little rough around the edges. Cool J, though, in game 2 was going kind of crazy. Also, I forgot to mention this. I mentioned this in the original time that I recorded this with no audio, but obviously the site, a little small update. I included runes now, and also included damage now, so those are some pretty helpful things to be able to see. So now it's there. Now that information is there. But yeah, overall, I kind of feel like CR just outperformed. I mean, it's hard to know how RAWR is going to be doing comparatively, since like their entire scoreline pre-week 6 is like almost like a fake number at this point. So yeah, but also, you know, Swain, it's just not it. We did get the Swain rework yesterday. Rework. It's kind of more of an adjustment. His win rate went down with the rework, but I don't know if that's just people like adjusting to the new build. Although I don't think it would like take that much time to adjust to, because it's pretty much the same abilities. It's just different kind of timings and stuff. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it's going to go over the next few days. Maybe it is week. It's people adjusting. I don't know. But regardless, Caress and Eric, just as always, looking good. And we're going to move into the next game of week 7. BW versus ABW. BW winning, one of the bottom teams that I pointed out earlier. Of course, bottom in quotations because none of the teams in this season are doing bad at all. All the teams in this season, every match is so close. It's crazy. I love seeing it. So good. But anyways, BW doing really good. This was a series where I pointed out last time that both the ADCs kind of aren't crazy, and it's kind of rare to see that. It feels like recently in these beer league series where the teams are kind of more, I say, evenly matched. Not evenly matched. What am I saying? The teams are more ADC focused. It feels like the ADCs are doing a lot more of the carrying. I feel like I don't actually see it happening that consistently, but it feels like in the beer league specifically, the ADCs are kind of the actual focuses. So it was weird to see that not be the case. It felt like more so Lord Wrath and 21 were kind of carrying. I mean, if you look at Lord Wrath's damage, 30k when everybody else was in the 20ks. Game 2 was the second highest on his team. The Urgot pick, I remember this game. Urgot went honestly pretty well. I really liked it. Overall, it just, yeah, I feel like Lord Wrath and 21 both were doing good. You know, I gotta look at 21's scoreline in game 1. 6-1-20 is really good. Of course, you can't really ignore WAPS too. WAPS is good too. I like WAPS. WAPS is funny name, good score, good plays. So WAPS is great too. But apart from that, we're gonna move on straight into the next game. KGB versus LS. LS winning in 2 matches. Another one of those bottom teams picking up another game for themselves. And in this one, I really gotta highlight 900 Slimes here, because I think it was either game 1 or game 2 or probably both, where they ended the game with 1,500 stacks on their heart steel. So that was pretty crazy. Also, the damage in game 1, look at that, 53,000 compared to everybody else. It's wow, holy moly, insane. And then game 2, again, one of the highest damages. Of course, not including Pyrone. Pyrone on Italy, of course, always going to be crazy. Just wasn't quite crazy enough. But yeah, I think what I would have liked to see is KGB probably trying to change up some bans. I mentioned this when I recorded the first time. That I wish that KGB would have kind of gone for some different bans here. Because it felt like losing streak was allowed to get away with too much. I mean, admittedly, they picked up Vayne to try and counter the Cho'Gath. It clearly didn't work out because Cho'Gath did some cooking. Frozen Heart, Rocket Belt, Malignance. Cho'Gath he was doing something, and it worked. It worked really well. I liked it. I liked the cook. It was a fine meal. And Blue Metal, also I can't ignore Blue Metal, did absolutely amazing on Fizz game 1. Game 2, Fizz was available. They went Viego and again did absolutely amazing. Even more damage than the first time. So just it was good. It was good. Jubilee also doing good in both matches, just kind of getting overshadowed because of everything else happening. Mainly because 900 Slimes just kind of going crazy with the Cho'Gath. The Cho'Gath pick feels illegal. But you know, they picked Vayne to try and counter the Cho'Gath, and it didn't work out. The Cho'Gath still was just crazy good, and Pyroan's in Italy. Obviously, he's gonna struggle a little bit with Cho'Gath and Lilia, so it was a little bit rough there. Kind of feel like KGB did just get a little bit outdrafted that time, but it's how it is, and LS wins, and they kind of deserve it. Niner Slimes was looking amazing that match, but now we're gonna move into week 8, HH versus RAWR. RAWR winning in 2 matches, and I gotta say, Mui on game 2, just gonna jump straight into it. 22-4, and just absolutely carrying on Gwen. Like, just absolutely crazy, insane, impactful performance. Just, I mean, nothing else to really even say about it. I didn't think that Mui had any other like crazy exceptional games in the past weeks, but then this game it was insane. I imagine they probably like went for the Gwen pick to just take it away from HH. I like that. I like the sort of just trying to like steal something away instead of like trying to counter it or just ban it, just steal it away, and then just do better. Insanely better. Not to say that Vivian is like a bad Gwen, but like look at that movie performance. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. It was just absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. Really good performance from Mui. Another thing though, kill the Kiwi Gangplank game 1. Another highlight there because that one did some good damage, some pretty good damage. Was definitely a bit of a threat, and all happened before the Gangplank buffs came out today. Not today, yesterday. So hopefully that's looking all good. So I believe it was like some cooldown buffs and some damage buffs. I was trying to look at it real quick, but I can't be bothered to find the new wiki and find Gangplank on it right now, so I'm not going to. Just that simple. Just that simple. But yeah. Hopefully this is the start of seeing what RAW really can be, because this is RAW's basically second game in this season with this roster, and the season is pretty much wrapping up. Second game or third game? Third game? Third game, I think. This would be their third game. So, yeah, so pretty sure they're in playoffs already, so they don't have too much to worry about, but definitely a team that's looking good, kind of popping off, kind of doing well. And so I'm going to hop into the last game that we're talking about in this episode, Week 8, LS versus CR. CR winning in 3 matches, and yeah, game 1, 900 Slimes looked really amazing on the Darius. I think Darius can be definitely a really ridiculous champion when played right. Can sort of be easily countered in the same way that most immobile top laners can be, CC. So, can suffer there, but they still did very well. And a lot of damage, a lot of bleed. That true damage bleed passive is crazy. So it did really well. Obviously, Blue Metal, of course, also doing really well in this game. Jubilee assisting like crazy. No, but yeah, 900 Slimes was doing amazing game 1, and then game 2, they picked Blitzcrank top again. I don't want to see it. No, but it's a fun pick. I'm sure that he's having fun on it, and it's fun to see. But it doesn't go well. It does not go well. We can look at the last time they did it. It goes well in like the first little bit of the game, but then it kind of doesn't go too well. So don't really like to see it. Put 900 Slimes back to Darius and did well in that match comparatively to their team, but still just wasn't quite enough. Eric, like he was in most of these matches, that's game 1. Eric was just kind of popping off Eric usually is doing really well. Of course, Caress, I also have to say, doing pretty good in these matches as well. Caress and Eric are both, like, kind of the highlights of Coach Rivals. So, yeah. They are definitely doing pretty good. Definitely looking like some pretty good players. So, yep. Niner Slimes, good Darius performance. But Caress and Eric just are two very good players. And so it's just not going to be enough. But with that, we're going to hop into sort of team rankings. But I'm not actually really going to be ranking the teams this week. This week, I'm actually going to focus more on what teams need to do to make playoffs, sort of. So these three are like pretty much locked in. I'm pretty sure, actually, these top four are locked in. I'm pretty sure none of them can be knocked out. All of these teams can both qualify or be knocked out in the coming matches. So not including the rest of games in week 8, there is. Let me head to the Beer League site just to make sure that I get these matches right for week 9. Okay. KGB versus ABW is a game that doesn't directly determine it solidifies somebody's spot. Whoever wins that, it solidifies their spot in playoffs. Whoever loses that has a chance to get knocked out, but they might still stay in. I don't know their head-to-head with the other teams. I'm not even gonna bother trying to like look at that right now because I gotta get this done with. But then also BW versus HH. That one is directly like BW. If BW wins that, then they're tied with HH, except they have the head-to-head. Probably. So then BW will be ahead of HH. So that's definitely an exciting match. CR versus PSR kind of doesn't matter. 2 versus 1 IQ will be an interesting one to see because they haven't played against each other yet, and they're two of the best teams, sort of the top 3 sort of dominant ones. 1 IQ, PSR, 2 more. All 3 of those teams looking really stellar. So it'll be fun to see that one. And then RAWR versus LS is another series where it is like sort of determining somebody making it into playoffs and somebody not making it into playoffs. So those are exciting matches to look out for. BW versus HH, RAWR versus LS are very intense, high stakes. KGB versus ABW is not as high stakes, but still there's stakes. And then 2 versus IQ will be a fun match to watch. And then, CR is going to take down PSR. It's going to happen. You heard it here first. It's going to happen. But yeah, that's week 9, and that's kind of how the teams are doing. So I think that kind of wraps it up for the team rankings. I think I kind of skipped over. Usually, I think I do player of the week first, right? I think I usually do player of the week before hopping to teams, but we're gonna do that now. Player of the week, it's Niner Slimes. It's not even close. It was kind of close. I debated a lot originally with Eric and Caress as well, because they both did good. Mui was a brief consideration because that Gwen game was crazy, but it's just one game. I don't want to give him player of the week for one game, because it was literally just like one game in a series, and they didn't do bad in other matches, but I don't know. It was just one off, and I was like, eh. It was really good, but I still just liked 900 Slime's Cho'Gath performance more. He got Cho'Gath. Game 1 was crazy with it, and then was allowed to get it again in game 2 while getting double counterpicked with the Trundle and the Vayne, and did some cooking, did well with it, and so it kind of worked out really well for them. And so yeah, I think that 900 Slimes doing as well as they did on the Cho'Gath, and also the Darius performance wasn't bad. Unfortunately, didn't win the series, but you know, it was also pretty good. Just if they pick Blitzcrank again, I'm gonna retroactively take this Player of the Week away. Unless they pick Blitzcrank and win. If they pick Blitzcrank and win, then I think I'm gonna give him Player of the Season. So whoever is playing against losing streak now, you just got a free win because they're gonna pick Blitzcrank and lose. So you're welcome. You're welcome. No, but yeah, 900 Slimes did really well. So you know, good job to him. He's Player of the Week for sure. But anyways, going back to the matches, just to quickly wrap up, we got KGB versus ABW. I should probably have this pulled up just to make sure I don't get it wrong. KGB versus ABW on week 9 will be an exciting match. Sort of stakes there. It can solidify somebody's spot at playoffs. Pushes somebody closer to potential elimination, but I don't think that they're actually in grounds for elimination. No, I have a little bit of time. I could check. Okay, so KGB lost to LS. Lost to HH. So, like, I don't know. If they get into a tie there, they might be towards the bottoms of things. I don't know. BW2, they both have losses. They beat LS. RAWR, but RAWR is... I don't know. I mean... I don't know, because there's still so many matches to be played. I don't know. It's intense. It's intense. That's a close one, but BW versus HH definitely intense. RAWR versus LS definitely intense. CR versus PSR. CR is going to win. I'm just saying that to drum some spice. 2 versus IQ. That'll just be an exciting match to watch. So yeah, week 9 actually, like, just an absolute banger week. I can't wait for it. Additional notes about week 9. Next Beer League episode will not be released probably on the weekend. It'll probably be released Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be between week 9 and the first week of playoffs. And then from then on out, it'll be just between each week of playoffs instead of sort of in the middle. So because of that, there might be more solo episodes. I might have less hosts, or I might be able to actually line up some guests just because of the sort of sporadic recording time nature that it's going to be taking on. So that'll be how that wraps up. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying. Sorry about the shorter episode, but I, you know, had to make this shorter, and then I had to do it again, so I had to make it even shorter. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a great part of the Beer League. Thank you for playing fun matches, and don't pick Blitzcrank. Or do. Maybe pick Blitzcrank. Thank you for watching. Have a good week.